Welcome to Judge of Ghana TV. Akwa Baba, Judge of Ghana TV so.
It is indeed unfortunate that you did not use that intelligence to prosper by legal means.
There's no person out there that is so smart that they never make any mistake ever, right? And that's how we catch people, it's through their mistakes.
This is your weekly update. Last week, things happened in Ghana, but I also watched a documentary on the biggest lottery scam in America, the Iowa lottery. And I've just shown you a couple of clips of things that really impacted me from that documentary. It was things that the judge said to the criminal behind the heist, behind the scam, behind the fraud in court. And you just listen to that. And also something that the investigator on the case said. The investigator on the case said something that really, really dug deep and touched me greatly. He said, everybody makes mistakes. And it's those mistakes that we make that they use to catch criminals. And this is very, very, very key and important. I've realized that when criminals engage in criminal endeavors, engage in criminal activity, engage in fraudulent activity, they make missteps, they take missteps. And if the Most High God opens your eyes to see those missteps, you can catch them. And when you catch them, there's nothing they can do. They are stuck and they become unhinged. And that is the beginning of their downfall. So, these are key things I took from this documentary on the Iowa lottery scam in America, in the USA. And I think that these words of wisdom is something that, for example, the wisdom that the judge on that case said to the criminal before he sentenced him, he said, you are a very intelligent person. It's unfortunate that you use your intelligence to do illegal things. And this is the problem we have with corrupt people. These persons who are accused in a lot of these criminal cases, even here in Ghana, these people are very intelligent people. Some of them even call themselves Christians. They claim they know God, but they use their intelligence to do criminal things, illegal things, criminal things. And this is the problem we have. And it doesn't matter their age, because if you look at the accused persons in the National Service scandal, National Service Secretariat scandal, their ages range from young to old. As I always say, evil spirit doesn't know your color, it doesn't know your political party. It is an evil spirit. And the Bible says the entity you submit yourself to, that is your master. And these people have chosen to submit themselves to evil, to that of the devil. And now they are going to pay the price accordingly. Because in life, whatever you do has a payback. And this is what we're witnessing in Ghana. And to be honest, what we're seeing within the former appointees of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, former president of the Republic of Ghana, if people don't change their mind, there's not a mindset change. We're going to see the same thing happening after 4 years. with some of the appointees of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, because corruption, fraud, unjust enrichment, evil, criminality. In the spirit, we call these things evil, but in the physical world, we call it criminal acts. There's a fine line between doing good and doing evil, and it takes somebody who has got. The Bible says that we should all seek self-control. It takes somebody who has got self-control to prevent themselves from falling into criminal acts, because you see the money before your eyes, you see the opportunity to steal, and you feel no one will ever find out. But there's nothing you do that cannot be found out, because even God has already seen you and the angels have seen you, and God can reveal it to whomever He chooses to reveal it to. So whatever you do, make sure you do good so you get good reward. Hmm? I always quote Proverbs 11:31. If the righteous and the just get their reward on earth, how much more the wicked and the sinner? This is what we are living in. This world. Whatever you do, you get payback on earth. Let's continue. The nurses' strike in Ghana has been suspended. The nurses are back at work since Saturday, the 14th of June 2025.
The leadership of the association wishes to state as follows. The engagement held with the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health and other interested parties on Thursday, 12 June 2025, was very fruitful and has paved the way for an amicable resolution of the impasse with our employer concerning the implementation of our collective agreement. 2. In view of point 1 above, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association's industrial action initiated on 2nd June 2025 is hereby suspended, pending the outcome of the follow-up meeting scheduled for 26 June 2025. 3. We call on our dear nurses and midwives to resume their normal shift duties from Saturday, 14th June 2025. And we wish to assure you that we will not rest on our oars until the collective agreement is fully implemented.
While Kennedy Japan of the New Patriotic Party's team, went to visit Prophet Isaac Uzu Bempa, Reverend Doctor, at his church at Odoko. John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, was the guest speaker at the Father's Day service at his church in Accra, Assemblies of God. And he roped in British boxer Anthony Joshua, who was in Ghana for some event, a boxing event in Bokum Arena last week, over the weekend. He roped him in to help them distribute gifts to church members, fellow church members at the end of the service. So that is what John Dramani Mahama was getting up to. Let's watch the visuals.
By the name of Honorable Kennedy or Agyapong. After Father's Day, also the Papa Cassia. After Father's Day, also the Papa, I made the Africa Power Day. I can't use it. Now, very young, telling me, 65. Agyapong and Lord China 63 baby. Agyapong for China on those who the baby and also yeah best and my mom away and my boy abano. Na the it's in the Swahili who's here and the na ɛna ɔno kɔ ara nisɔre mu ewu bi wɔ hɔ bebree the destinies are connected to ɔno nso nisɔre mu ɔyɛ no wɔn ti na yɛ mesrɛ sɛ yɛde anointing yɛ dɛ eti fred was believe in the prophets and believe in my word so sɛbi ewu prophet owu sɛ ɔpɛ osi mu yɛ dɛ ɛnyɛ dɛ so obi dɛ ɛni ni a yɛde yɛ dɛ yɛgye bi pɛsɛ sɛ obi dɛ ɛni ni a ti kɛn yɛ dɛ yɛgye bi.
In today's episode of Judge of Ghana, we're going to focus on three topics. Firstly, the proposed US ban on Ghana. Secondly, a deep dive into the National Service Secretariat scandal and the impending criminal case, which according to Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana, Dominic Ayine, it will start on the 1st of July, 2025, the criminal case. Thirdly, we look at Samira Bawumia's reply to Kennedy Agyapong truth that he said at Mampong to the New Patriotic Party members. Okay, let's start with the US ban on Ghana, or proposed ban. And I read, because it's so detailed, you just have to read and give the right information. The inclusion of Ghana in the proposed US travel ban expansion stems from concerns over identity verification systems, visa overstay rates, and government fraud. As outlined in the State Department memo signed by Secretary Marco Rubio. Here is the detailed breakdown. Why Ghana was included. 1. Inadequate identity documentation. The United States claims Ghana lacks a competent and cooperative central government authority to produce reliable identity and civil documents, hindering US vetting processes. Pese me dani wetwi na nkrofo na omonte brofo ye no. Mpese o nkrofo te ase. The reason back one of the reasons are United States say yemma Ghana for enko ye propose say yemba ne Ghana for say omoko America ne say according to Omo State Department Secretary, your friend of Marco Rubio, no, or say Ghana, yen shede ni, according to US, no, they don't believe say systems say war Ghana hano, a strong identity systems, no. It is say na California omo documentation, no, omo feel say government of Ghana, omo robust systems are emodru obi ntumi and break into and say so what you see yede identity wenum na uje so muti America ho no mo nhwe de ekoso Ghana ha enye obi na be ka kire say reason they feel this way and they say share and some are cost with ghost names at national service no almost say systems of my building no ye kofa Ghana card no obia also obia use Ghana card and your identity na Ghana card no uwa e kire say ye betime use their blocking ghost names and so still nipa dasani afa kwan bone so etumi access the ghost names ashim please let's just say nipa na o control system no and a manipulate system enti emfa ho so when you crofo with integrity some manage systems so you're going to have this problem. So I think the US have come to the conclusion that with all the scandals that are happening in Ghana, we don't have robust central identification systems. Even they don't trust our passport system because the people in the passport offices, in the NHIIA office, who produce the Ghana card, they can be influenced to, mess up the system, to override the system and do what they want to do when money comes into the picture. So the US are not satisfied with our passport system and our national identification system. So they want to ban Ghana. That's the number one reason. Secondly, visa overstay concerns. US feel say Ghana for no say omuma ekwan ma yeba United States and they are far koti kwan so na ye dey far corners e chira show ma unhu omo e che say omo find way omo betena kro no mu underground be ombe using microphone krata aye adwuma undocumented work enti na che say tax crown mu ntue bi okrom ho enti adena US omo ye no person omo block is an man because they don't trust us inye trustworthy sa kululu nsema ye wo Ghana ha no ye de kodru America ye se usuban eti se nyinsen we dey abepie. So this is the problem. They don't believe us. The Americans don't trust us. They think a lot of Ghanaians don't tell the truth. So they are corrupt. And the way they do their visas and overstay, lie and overstay, they are liars, they overstay, they stay welcome, and they get into criminal activity. That's one of the concerns. So visa overstays. Third, government fraud. The memo cites widespread government fraud as a key factor, though details are unspecific. And to almost say, say the world is a global world. Information goes through and fro at lightning speed. Until they are cost to Ghana be America. Now what to say? Ocean number of scandals are APA. And Kawa Obama sa Crawford we are. Yan can no correct Ghana ha. Obama ma ba okrum. Enti somehow no salted Donald Trump say Ghana for yan can no crentino. Donald Trump can pay America. Cause on otiniama sana or the tunetiko share nanu ya a Cyril Ramaphosa call White House. In summer Donald Trump at EFA South Africa. The enye EFA white South Africans were bloated no bigger than it really is. Because what it in some you can't find your mind your address no say a lot of these criminal cases say for every or mine sika so Ghana for yan boy homodin abai na mbon e homodin making sure say ye be jeli san crofo we no na in sama National Democratic Congress John Dramani Mahama okaye ansa na Ghana foto abama no so when to me and so na ye hu say ye de crofo bi no makoto politically exposed phobia akoto cells prisoner sa misnomer yi America for was Ghana for ye corrupt and kind of cre government crampo ye fraud omo engage in fraud ebe koso so person twa bibi so ye bibi different I just say you are tackling the matter enti yen to me afford it as a nation say we don't tackle the matter we must tackle the matter so what you say enti Ghana government you was somebody po because we dey be make asem it's not the matter that the facts of the matter that matter is the perception. Until the perception of Ghana being a corrupt country is high globally, and the US have got it, and they listen to what is in the social media and in the press, and they make their deductions concerning certain countries on that because the local people are talking about it. So if the government doesn't do something to eradicate these issues, then we're going to have blocked channels to go to countries like the US. Let's carry on. Another thing they said was point 4, citizenship by investment programs. It says Ghana offers citizenship through monetary investment without residency requirements, which the US views as a security loophole. Enti the USA can say Ghana as a mind Ghana no. So person betena Ghana ha. Now this kaba abe siesi o mind Ghana. Ye be ma wa abetena Ghana ha. Ehu nya say uru sika na ba ehu nya say wo betena Ghana ha. Sika na wo de ba na ni ehia Ghana fo. And our US government they feel say enye right. So cause obi de ni sika ebo a year investment obi kroma. E wo say nipa no so tena kroma. Na odi nani hwe de ekoso because so one yes na che say nkrofo omunye bi on person mo London omusika omu betumi dis Canada kroma because as a way to launder their money so omu ye business bi na omu ti baby enti eno na US for no so omu de ka concerns omu wo omu peso Ghana ye ba ne ye ba ne omu say ye active yet but it's a planting enti point 5 broader US policy shift part of Trump's Protect America First agenda, reactivated via a January 2025 executive order, targets countries with deficient vetting. Enti the US policy no, omo dwen America First to. Enti sa wote Ghana ha, na wo pese wo free Ghana ha, kotene baby obi krom, na ye obi krom yi a America for no mo mfa wo ho. E wo so wo dwene Ghana first cause America for kra Donald Trump. And then nkro for mo dwen America first. Na wo te Ghana ha. Pesa wo pack wo niema na wo kɔ ho. Na wo kodi pa wo ho. Abra wo krom wo ha. Wo betimi ya me betimi ma wo nimdie no. So wo penkwa de wo bisa wo so wo lack wisdom bisa na obema wo. Na why ye bibi. Now also wabe because the cost of starting business and being successful in Ghana it's lower than in the US. A form from Juma de be obenye bi by no crying easy. If you're a new immigrant to any country, so benya krata kra de ye Juma and now be find it obia obema wo ye Juma they will try a decent wage without enkrata because the nipa ne ye na illegal ye chena obenya problem you be find no be a jail crab bebem enti obi ani wa obe bending the backwards bend over backwards for you say obey saa de na ma because wo ye hwan. You have no loyalty to that person. Asem to na wuntumi gene free mu. Wo kra wo hia mboa. Enti initially wo ko America ne UK and Europe baby so we need working permit any wo papers edwuma kra mpo edin wan hwe kra kombedew enti enye easy say we be free o mind baako akọ immigrate akotena baby fufuro enye easy enti US one omo dwe America first o hwe protect America first and na waka no enti how about also protect Ghana first. That should be your mission. Enti yenhwe nkrofo mo affected. Who is affected? New visa applicants. Ghanaians applying for new immigration or non-immigration visas. Example, tourists, students and workers would face entry bans if restrictions take effect. Enti ebe affect obia wo ko se wo ko odi weni kohwe se no man netie ana wo kosua ade ana wo ko edwuma wo ho a sa visa ban ebe affect non-exempt groups, family members of US residents, prospective students and business travelers without existing visas. Enti nkrofo bi wo ho a omo de sa obusuafo wo US wo omo ti US wo a and the only problem ubetimi akọ America ho you are exempt. I know mami kan ye say we a family member ho we a prospective student and we a business traveler now we need visa existing visa and the who can you are affected and in crofo we exempt yen kan ye so emfa ho so we wo obisoni wo ho na at this time ye ka say June 2025 who you don't already have a visa and now we a businessman and now businesswoman now we need American visa and the who can group no you betimi abane we a students so now afi na kope course bi akoye wo America you betimi abane who can ban for no now exemption so yeah dual nationals using a non-banned country's passport. And so we are dual national. And you are both American and another country. Now our passport no and can't ban countries so we okay. Existing visa holders and lawful permanent residents, green card holders. Into we a green card holder there and our visa that any problem. Athletes, coaches, and officials participating in events like the 2026 World Cup. And the World Cup baby, I know the only be quite a microphone akoshe. And so we are athletes, we are coach, and now we are official. Now kwako buano akensi na koye World Cup 2026 akoye, for example, and the we are exempt. Okay, young effective dates and timelines. Immediate action required. Ghana has until June 18th, 2025, 8 a.m. Eastern Time to submit an initial action plan to address US concerns. Enti USA ama Ghana opportunity say sa ban ya umpesa mo ye no ye de Ghana kan list on Ghana for omama Ghana konya say ye betumi a kire omo say ye betutu ye neme yi a na ya block areas no me concerned about na and the omo US for no omo yi Ghana free ban list no nti ye na o say ye bibi to block all the loopholes America for no concerned about no mutumi ye free ban list no. Now mama ye up to 18th of June. Until na 15th. Monday ye 16th. Tuesday ye 17th. By Wednesday 18th of June 8 a.m. Eastern Time. So Ghana to me submit planner address US concerns maka above no. Concerns, so cry, how many concerns? I mean, go over the concerns again. Inadequate identification documentation, 1. Visa oversight concerns, 2. Government fraud, 3. 4. Citizens by investment programs, 4. And 5. Broader US policy shift. NT. Say to me addresses our issues here. And the only to me you got a free list no so. Final deadline. If compliance benchmarks are not met within 60 days, by mid-August 2025, restrictions could take effect immediately. As of June 16, 2025, the ban is not yet effective. It's not yet active. For Ghana, it remains a proposal pending compliance negotiations. Enti ban no enye active yet. Ghana we adwuma bi a osomo ye. Ansana ade na active enti say yetumi yes a niema no a ende ne be free sa ban list no so ye ntumi nso a ende aka wo so. So anete. If you are broader impact and reactions. Diplomatic strains. The African Union condemned the move, warning it could damage people-to-people ties, educational exchange, and commercial engagement. In the African Union for yaba out AU, abeka se ade a America for pese ye no, ebe say eyi nkrofo relationships and education exchanges. So at here say obi beba o mind so student be free America aba Ghana and vice versa. And also so ebe affect business, commercial. Economic fallout. Ghanaian students, entrepreneurs, and diaspora families face disrupted travel, academic, and business plans. Enti, say America for to me effective sa ban no. And yet it's not yet effective. But to me ya, a chere say ebe Ghana for ye niema ye in terms of ebusua for ebe to me affect yen business a ye pese na America for ye ebe affect and adusua academic ebe disrupting you know ebe na ye basa nti to be honest emma America enya kondo say obekọ ho akosua de honestly. Legal challenges. Civil rights group call the expansion discriminatory, citing similarities to Trump's 2017 Muslim ban. Lawsuits are expected if implemented. Enti ade a Trump so ye no nkrofobia ye aboy ya dwumu pose ye de ansem de beko court. No ma court sa bibia. Omo de ansem de beko court. Ma court sa bibia. Enti there are impending law cases, legal cases that will come up because in Crawford fighting Trump 2017 or yeah Muslim ban. Omo de lawsuit start when to me are affecting enti and also another option. Key dates for Ghana's travel ban status. June 18, 2025. Requirement. That's the timeline. Requirement is submit initial action plan to address US demands pending. And the Ghana government has until June 18, 2025 to submit a plan that addresses the concerns of the United States. So there's a little time window, a narrow time window to avert this ban, to get Ghana off this ban list. And it's now, the onus is on our government, the government of John His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So mutumi bibi fa ho a Ghana betumi afiri saa list so. Mid-August 2025, meet all benchmarks, improve document verification, reduce overstays. 60-day negotiation. Enti the USA can say, so Ghana to me throw action plan. Ade a yebeye. Ghana government to me throw ade a yebeye a yebetumi asesa concerns of US government no. And there say omu to me accept sa plan now Ghana for the abano. Say mid-August. Enti yenka say 15th of August 2025. So mobile side check say Ghana etumi a implementing nema na ye kan say ye beye no. On 18 June 2025. Yetumi a implementing in August ana. So yetumi a ye dia and there depend full or partial entry bans if compliance fails. Enti after that no. Enti after mid-August and ebe hu say you can list no ho ana say aye permanent ana yetume ye hu afiri mu. So if Ghana can do something about the concerns of the US, we can get off the ban list. Okay. Yenhwe nsem kakra ebe kan ho. Ghana's inclusion reflects the US focus on immigration enforcement and security cooperation. While the ban is not active yet, its implementation hinges on Ghana's ability to meet US demands within 60 days. So Ghana has 60 days to meet the demands of the US government so that they can be removed from this ban list. So it is a proposed ban. It is not an actual ban. Until the 60 we fail. Until we fail to submit a plan to address their concerns, then it becomes permanent after that. If enforced, it would primarily disrupt new travelers without visas, dual citizenship. Yeah, it will disrupt new travelers without visas or dual citizenship. Sana ade ne beye. Enti se wo ni visa dada. Enti ye kasa ne. Wo ni visa and there. I'm sorry. Ban no be affect you. And as afi na okope dual citizenship wo America ban no be affect you. Ti sana asem ne tie. Enti yenhwe the US State Department and Ghana's Foreign Ministry beye. Enti it's over to you. Honorable Okujato, Samuel Okujato Ablakwa, wona Foreign Ministry share wonsa. Enti o plans na obeyi Ghana free ban list mu. Hwe na ye chro koma amo na diso na yenyi ye free list mu say o pese sa open opportunity no eda ho dia and the Ghana betimi aye no no. Enti it's a temporary ban, proposed ban, it's not a permanent ban. Until we fail, the government of Ghana fails us, then it becomes permanent. So that concludes my deep dive into the USA ban on Ghana. Okay, let's move on.
We'll be filing charges against 12 suspects who worked as directors and staff of the NSA. I've already listed them, but for the abundance of doubt, let me mention them again. These are Mustafa Yusuf, a former executive director; Osaya Sibe Entry, former director general; Gifty Owari Mensah, former deputy executive director; Kweku Ohinijan, former deputy executive director for operations; Abraham Bismarck Gezi, former internal auditor; Kweku Dechi Eje, an accounts officer; Idrusu Ibn Abubakar, former head of accounts; Stephen Kobina Jemfi, I've asked that he should be rearrested because we've discovered some new accounts that contain some deposits and So he was picked up this morning. So he is currently also, he's undergoing further interrogation. Koforidua, he's the Koforidua director. Then Prince Agbofa Ewuku, a district director, and Jacob Yorsin, management information systems administrator in the northern region. We will also file charges against the following persons who are vendors on the marketplace on the central management system of the NSA in the eastern, Greater Accra, and Ashanti regions. Isaac Osei Asamani, the owner of Stalwart Option Buy Ventures. Charles Ohomening, the owner of GH OHEC Ventures. Philomena Arthur, the owner of Brainwave Ventures. Rose Hamilton, the owner of Marine Ventures. Kweku Opare Agbofa, the owner of Franlisa Ventures. Solomon Jamina, the owner of Afarita Ventures. Haruna Mawulaya, the owner of Alfaida Enterprise. Sylvia Ntriwa Opare, the owner of Silsona Ventures. And then Peter Mensah, a legal practitioner and the husband of Gifty Oware Mensah. We have made the decision to enter into non-prosecution agreements with some of the persons who were involved in this criminal enterprise, especially the vendors, and these have agreed to provide compelling testimonies as witnesses for the prosecution. In this regard, we have agreed not to disclose their names or their details at this press briefing as part of the NPA, that is a non-prosecution agreement. Because this is going to inure to the efficiency of the prosecutions that will be mounted. And in every prosecutorial decision making, we have the discretion to take decisions that will inure to the benefit of the Republic. And we have decided in the office, together with the investigators, that some of the marketplace vendors and some other directors and staff who came to us may be serving as prosecution witnesses. Some of them offered to be prosecution witnesses, and we rejected their offers. They came, met with my deputy. We evaluated the evidence and thought that it will be inimical to the entire prosecutorial enterprise if we accepted their their offers to serve as prosecution witness. So
You've seen the video on the press conference of the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana, Dominic Ayine, concerning the National Service Secretariat scandal and the proposed start date of the criminal proceedings in criminal court of 1st July 2025. There are 12 people that they've made their mind up to prosecute. He has gone through the list of the persons, but there are some notable personalities. And I would like us to look at that. Let me go back. I've done some deep dive into what the detail of the National Service Secretariat criminal case is all about. So the criminal case was formally announced by Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayine on June 13, 2025, during a press conference in Accra. This marked the culmination of 4 months' investigation by the National Investigations Bureau, NIB, Police CID, and the Attorney General's Office. Enti, deɛ mɛka ne sɛ Dominic Ayine bɛgyina hɔ 13th of June 2025 ɛbɛma ma press conference no na ɛkyɛ sɛ ɔma yɛ 4 months investigations on this National Service Secretariat scandal, NSS scandal. Na situation in here, the scale of the fraud, over Ghana cedis 548 million, which is equivalent to approximately $53 million was lost between 2018 and 2024 through 81,885 ghost names added to the NSS payroll. The peak loss occurred in 2022-2023, and the amount was Ghana cedis 351 million, with other annual losses including 2020 to 2021, Ghana cedis 56 million, 2021 to 2022, Ghana cedis 61 million, 2023 to 2024, Ghana cedis 33 million. Ghost names included fictitious graduates, example, a 93-year-old service personnel. How? Wonders wouldn't cease in this country called Ghana. Hey! 93-year-old service personnel. Wow. Even retirement is at 60 in Ghana. Hey! You see, these people, they were so corrupt to the core that they didn't even put sense into the corruption that they were engaging in. How? So and you see, these are people who are doing motivational talks, are preaching in churches. I heard that some of them even have donated and built Methodist churches in Ghana here with these funds. These unlawfully, criminally acquired funds. Ghana. I don't know whether they think they can bribe the Most High God by building a building out of stolen funds. These people are so criminal to the core. They don't have a heart. Look at the people they've deprived. How they've deprived the whole country of resources. And increased our indebtedness as a country and as a people. They only care about themselves. And you see, if you look at the ages of those who have been listed as accused by the Attorney General, Dominic Aini, some of them are pensioners, some of them are heading towards pension, some of them are youth. So this corruption cuts across age. As I always say, corruption doesn't know political party. It does not know age. It's an evil spirit. And you make your mind up to be corrupt because the love of money is the root of all evil. So these people love money more than human beings. They love money more than human beings. Because the love of money is the root of all evil. They love money more. So, you see, and that's the sad thing. These are the same people who come and tell you that, oh, God has blessed them, when they know the source of their wealth is corruption, fraud. They themselves know. As I said, a thief knows he's a thief. A corrupt person knows that they are corrupt. A fraudster knows they are a fraudster. You don't have to tell them they are fraudster. You know who you are. Because your spirit identifies as to who you are. Yes. You think that they're resting well. You see, when people do evil, they think that no one sees it. But God has seen you. And the angels have seen you. And God can reveal it to whoever he wants to reveal it. Look at how the criminal investigations have led to the rot. The rot. The rot in the National Service Secretariat. nkrofo di Ghana fo omodi yewu modi yewu modi yewu pa. Very wicked people, heartless. This behavior is a behavior of a heartless person. How can you do this? 93-year-old service personnel. And they also duplicated identities. That's a desperate damn move. When you duplicate identities of fictitious characters and falsified university index numbers. So they created people because they were so desperate to steal. Gravelicious. These people are gravelicious. Omo ya akronfo. Obi ko wia akoko nama order cells 15 years. Obi ko wia young guy been dancing, I think it was last year. Oko wia emon ni stew. Any teacher be mobile phone. You didn't to prison 20 years as a bibisa. How? Now we know namho. And they are planning to spend make sure the case lasts more than 4 years so that their government will come into power. They are praying their government will come to power then so that they can be let off the hook. Then they'll make the case beans, as we have seen. When your party comes into power, because these people are politically exposed persons, then they make the case beans. Beans. You see, we should learn from, if we are implementing the ways of the United States and the UK, where they do press conferences to talk about criminal cases. We are doing it now. Dominican Uni is doing it now in Ghana. Then Dominican Uni should make sure that we also implement the American system of criminal cases. When as I said the other day, the PDD case, Sean Puffy Combs case, the judge, criminal case, the judge said, the case is going to last 8 weeks. I want to see in this country where a criminal case will last 8 weeks or even 16 weeks, and then it will be concluded. Let's hear it from the mouth of the judges in our courts that Ombedi Asemno within 8 or 16 weeks, within weeks, not years. We are fed up of cases, criminal cases lasting years. How? How can it last years when the evidence is clear? Look, the government has brought the evidence. If the evidence is robust, the criminal case shouldn't last years. It's weeks. Because I provide the evidence and you have to bring superseding evidence as the accused. If you can't bring it, then you're guilty. We bang the hammer on you and we jail you accordingly. That's what should happen. But why do criminal cases last years in Ghana? Even civil cases shouldn't last years. It is obvious. A good judge should be able to discern. You have to have the spirit of discernment. And if the evidence is in your face and you choose to sideline and do something else, then you're not upholding the law. You shouldn't be a judge. You should be stripped of your garments. This is what we need in this country. We need truthful judging. Judges that judge based on evidence, not on something else. Because we don't know what's happening back door. As we discovered in the Atoforsen Richard Japa criminal case. The Attorney General Godfrey Dami at the time was doing things in the back. Kululu, backhand dealings. And the case became beans. We don't need another beans case. Because if you listen to the gravity of the criminality and the level of detail that the Attorney General came to espouse on 13 June 2025, this is not a situation that we should just push to the curb. It's a very serious matter. And we should make sure justice is served. So I didn't say, scratch my back, you scratch my back. NDC bar, National Democratic Congress bar, scratch my back. NPP bar, no, I scratch your back. It's not going to work in this country. The people are upset. We are upset. We are fed up. We want justice. President John Dramani Mahama, the mission that God has given you is to make sure Psalm 33 verse 5. God loves righteousness and justice. The earth is full of his goodness. Happens in this land called Ghana. We need it. That is the reason why you've got overwhelming votes, so that you can do this. You have the same mission that God gave Moses in the Bible, to bring law and order and justice. A lot of people in the previous regime of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, a lot of people were defrauded of their properties. Personal properties, stealing from the government, procurement fraud, left, right, and center. So these people must be prosecuted, and justice must be served and must be seen to be served. None of them should get away scot-free. Mr. President, yapaucho. We don't need any favors for wicked people. We don't need it. So, let's look at their modus operandi at the National Service Secretariat. It says senior NSS officials colluded with 10 private vendors to create fake personnel profiles using fraudulent academic credentials, divert allowances via bank accounts at ADB Bank, exploit the NSS digital system metric app meant to prevent fraud to instead enable it. Now, ade ba kwa eme wanwa kra wom eye gifty or worry mensa. Hey! Any Mustafa Yusuf, former sports minister. He first worked at the National Service Secretariat and then he was made sports minister. And he was responsible for the African Games in Accra in 2023. Was supposed to be in 2022, but it got pushed out to 2023. And we saw the rot, because there's another scandal brewing in that one, because the numbers didn't add up. For example, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, GBC, complained because they tried to say they'd given Ghana Broadcasting $3 million, I believe, and the Director General of Ghana Broadcasting came out and said that that was not true. And then I think they said they spent $50 million on food for the event, the African Games, which was a bit outlandish. It was just terrible. Even the athletes, some of them didn't get the right equipment. I remember there was a cyclist whose personal bicycle spoiled somewhere along the road, and he couldn't continue because he said he wasn't given the right resources. This is the country we live in. There's a saying, penny pinching, pound foolish. That is us, because we are greedy bastards. Yeah, penny pinch, and then the money that we divert, the rest of the money they divert in their pockets, and they do a substandard job. It's a hack job. Yes, that is Ghana for you. That's why things are not going well in this land. Okay, let's carry on. But give to Owari Mensah there. Apparently, she went to, according to Dominic Ayini, allegedly, she went to the ADB, African Development Bank, for a loan, 30 million Ghana cedis, using the names of, probably fictitious, over 9,000 names of fictitious people as collateral. What a wicked scheme. This lady is also the founder, or one of the founders, of Berry Ladies Football Club. It's a female football club here in Ghana, a Premiership female football club. And she's also the only female member of the Ghana Football Association Executive Committee. This lady. They make out that they are so special and they've got some sort gift but really they are financed by the rewards of corruption. Unjust gains, unjust means, unjust advantages. And they worm their way to these high level, high profile positions, like being executive member of the Ghana Football Association Executive Committee. They worm their way there. Is this a good representation for quality women leaders in the country? Of course, ask yourself the question. You see, the people who are honest and are people of integrity, they will never give them that position. And it makes you wonder, because if you hear the things that are going on in the Ghana Football Association, it makes you wonder about the integrity of the rest of the members of the Ghana Football Association Executive Committee. If Gifty Oware Mensah is one of them, then the rest are, you got to, because there's a saying, birds of a feather flock together. It's a question mark on their integrity as well. Yeah, some more. Anyway, main accused persons. Per Attorney General's charge sheet, the 22 accused fall into two groups. NSA, there are 12 people, officials at NSA, but there are a total of 22 accused persons in this case. The first name is Mustafa Yassif, former executive director at the National Service Secretariat from 2017 to 2021. Gifty Oware Mensah, former deputy executive director. Osei SCB Entry, former executive director. Kweku Ohne Jan, former deputy director operations. Others are Abraham Gazy, head of deployment, Eric Nyako, head of accounts, Jacob Johnson, MIS administrator, and 5 district directors. Let's carry on. Vendor accomplices. There are 10. Owners of shell companies, example Stalwart and Opinion Buy Ventures, CH OHEC Ventures, that received NSS payments for non-existent personnel. Included Peter Mensah, the husband of Gifty Oware Mensah, who used his law firm to launder funds. 5 charges filed. All 22 face 7 core charges. The first charge is stealing and conspiracy to steal, Criminal Offences Act. 2. Willfully causing financial loss to the state. 3. Using public office for profit. 4. Money laundering and conspiracy, Anti-Money Laundering Act. Current actions and reforms. Recovery efforts. Ghana cedis 550,000 reclaimed from dual employed fraudsters. Assets of suspects frozen. NSS cleanup. Over 2,000 ghost names purged from payroll. 4 staff interdicted. Mandatory Ghana card verification enforced. So they've tried to clean up the National Service Secretariat, and they're now making sure that they verify the Ghana cards on the National Service system. Legal defense. Mustafa Yassif and Osei Sibe Entry publicly deny guilt, claiming robust anti-fraud systems were implemented under their tenure. So they are denying everything. Mustafa Yassif and Osei Sibe Entry. I think it's Osei Sibe Entry who has built a church for the Methodist, a church building for the Methodist Church with these ill-gotten funds, ill-gotten monies Political context. The case is part of Operation Recover or Loot, oral, targeting corruption under prior administrations. Ayini defends press briefings as a tool for public accountability, citing US practices. Adia Ayini came the Enokre, America, UK, omoye press briefings for because they are accountable to the public. So omoko court ne bibi sesa attorney general betimi aba out abeka say oh you call court you asesa name say ni. They give you a regular update where enye bone. So because other than attorney general press conference fine. We need it because you have to involve the people in the criminal justice process to get trust in the system, because if you keep silent you need the ekoso say kululu na mo ya yenhu but obeka na afedi later on you say kululu koso ipa ba beka because what baby wa no beka kire say ni say na eko enti we will hold you accountable because information that the people know is what they can use to hold people accountable for their words and their actions. Enti information flow is very important to make sure that justice is served and justice is seen to be served, because the people who are accused are all politically exposed persons. Next steps. Prosecution to commence in Accra High Court. The National Service Secretariat awaits a comprehensive audit from 2017 to 2024 to finalize liability assessments. This case highlights systemic payroll fraud enabled by institutional corruption. For further details, refer to further Attorney General briefings and also the investigation by the Fourth Estate, Manasseh Azuri's Fourth Estate. They did the initial digging into the NSA scandal. So almost Omabua Ghana to unearth the rot. And in fact, Juma, Juma in the last 4 months, say Oma to me, I'll gather all this information. As I link it back accounts, my idea, papa. We need more of this. Okay, now let's move on. Finally, earlier this week, after Kennedy talked about the fact that it is not right that it's an assumption to say that Dr. Alhaji Bawumia should be allowed to go again as the MPP flag bearer, because the first flag bearer of New Patriotic Party did not go a second time when he failed woefully in the first democratic elections in 1992. So Samira Bawumia came and also gave a response, a reply, and tried to create a certain narrative.
We need to adhere now be a. That is it. It's an exchange of ideas. That is what contest should be about. Not attacking of personality, not denigrating your opponent. It speaks to your character. Nti yɛde nigye de ma obiara. Yɛde ahobrɛaseɛ ɛna yɛde kɔ yɛn anim. And me hope so sɛ mo a mowɔ ha nyinaa mobɛhwɛ Dr. Bawumia so ban. Na it should guide you. His humility, his clarity of purpose, his composure, that should guide you. Also, more canvassing. I urge you all to have that spirit. Yen say obi, Kenya ye busuanko. I can't see any area. They say after competition comes what? Cooperation. So we should make sure we don't say things that we cannot take back. When you are down for cryaka, who can be there? So can say ma. Moboma, oh very. Say, sans me win. So let's all be guided by me honge, menim ni suban. Menim se oye ni papa. Menim se na koma ye. Menim se obeye dwumaden e de asonda.
You've just seen the video. What I can say is that I wrote some notes here. So I just want to be able to refer to them. Samira Bawumia says that she knows her husband and he's got humility, he's got vision, he's humble, he has clarity of purpose and composure. Really? 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 Wow. The way she sees things is not the way we see things, because during the campaign for the 2024 elections on 7 December 2024, we the people of Ghana, I certainly did not see all these characteristics that Samira Bawumia has written here. False humility. Is even Samira humble? Does she respect even the law? She and her brother, Abu Ramadan, could take the law into their own hands and demolish Mr. George Otibunsu's 10 buildings in Agyapong. Just like that, when they were not the true owners of the property or the land. Criminal acts. All these should be dealt with by criminal justice. Because as I've said before, just because there's a civil case ongoing doesn't mean that we should ignore the criminal aspects of the case. If criminal acts have happened, we should make sure that it's dealt with on a criminal level. Because the act of taking soldiers, police, and national security to go and demolish somebody's properties, using false documents to say you're the owner, that is criminality. That is fraud. Fraud can be civil or criminal. It doesn't have to be. It can be both. So they should deal with it in a criminal fashion, and to bring an end to all this nonsense about humility. Because if your husband was humble, he would have told you, and he had clarity and composure, he would have told you and your brother Abu Ramadan not to go and destroy Mr. George Otibunsu's 10 buildings. One of the founding fathers of MPP and the founding financiers of MPP, Mr. George Otibunsu, went to break 10 of his buildings. Come and stand here today and say that your husband has got vision, is humble, clarity of purpose. What did all these things do for New Patriotic Party in the 2024 elections? Ukunu Odincho Poto. Odincho Poto. Look, should tell you that the people of Ghana are not interested in Dr. Bawumia going forward. Hey, I can put my hand on my heart, say I will never vote for Dr. Bawumia. More than about 10,000 times. I don't believe he will fail. You can never be president, because Ghana we don't like people who don't tell the truth. Dr. Bawumia has proven by his words and his deeds that he's a liar. He said you bring PayPal to Ghana. There's no PayPal. It's only recently I heard that they're trying to bring PayPal to Ghana. So I hope that before the end of the 4 years, we'll have PayPal in Ghana. But Dr. Bawumia promised to bring PayPal in Ghana. It never materialized. That's a lie. He's a liar. So to tell me that he's humble, it's a lie. You cannot be humble and be a liar. He said, he will take care of the dollar. Look at where dollar was when he was vice president, head of management, you know, economic management committee. When you man who gold for oil was a mess. He didn't achieve anything. Wait, we'll say or is good for Ghana. We should believe you. Look, say New Patriotic Party, my mistake, number the Dr. Bawumia ba. I'm sorry. Opposition, the moment now, sa favour. That's it. Look, what Ghana needs is truthful leaders. You think Ghanaians are concerned about political party? You don't care about political parties. You probably or kind of cray. And or say or yo. That's what we are looking for. So what I say. So you don't have any options in the New Patriotic Party, despite all your nice sweet words. Your behavior, Samira Bawumia, is Jezebel-like, because the actions you took in demolishing Mr. George Otibonsu's 10 buildings in Agyapong is Jezebel behavior. And the only thing I can say is that your husband is like Ahab, because it seems like you, Samira Bawumia, are wearing the pants in the Bawumia household, and Alhaji Mahmudu Bawumia is like King Ahab in the Bible. I can only describe you guys as Jezebel and Ahab, because Jezebel was very beautiful, but the actions of Jezebel were not beautiful. And unfortunately, Samira Bawumia, you are very beautiful, but your actions are not beautiful. Your actions are not beautiful. Because what you did to Mr. George Bonsu is evidence that your actions are not beautiful. It's like in the Bible when Ahab was envious of the property of Naboth. Was envious for the property of Naboth. And Jezebel went behind and made sure she unalived Naboth so that Ahab could have Naboth's land. Is it not the same thing that you have done to Mr. George Otibonsu? Trying to unalive him, because the shock of what you did to him he could have collapsed and become unalived. So in Bijina my country say Alhaji Bawumia ye humble, we're humble. Look, what the Bible says, a man of God should be able to control his home. The same should be said for all leaders. If you can't control your home, you should not be made a leader. It is clear Alhaji Bawumia is deficient in controlling his home, because he can't even control his wife. His wife can go and engage national security, the police and soldiers to go and demolish a property that doesn't belong to her on falsehood, on fraudulent documents. Destroy someone's 10 properties in Agyapong just like that, because they run the country. But now you're not in power. You have been reduced to zero. Now you're like everybody else, because you guys take advantage of your political power. But you forget that everything has an expiry date. We are mostly young voting for more number be there am Look, so betimi I Mr. Otibonsu dying 10 sir. Betimi I meme dying sir. Betimi betimi I obia or Ghana ha dying sir, because they are in power. When we vote him, don't make a mistake of voting for this, because Mboa Ghana. Samira Bawumia, what you're saying is like the kettle calling the pot black. I will explain. You said something. You said that Dr. Bawumia has a good heart. Ghana does not need people with good hearts. Ghana needs people who are truthful. who say things that are going to move Ghana forward and do them. We need a talk and do person. And we need a truthful leader who will tell us the truth. And if we look at the contestants or people who are vying for that flag bearership position in New Patriotic Party, one person stands tall, and that person is Kennedy or Agyapong. Upa umpo sanetie. He's the only person who can give National Democratic Congress a run for their money. So, New Patriotic Party delegates, we a mistake. Na man for Kennedy ambo, and the opposition they won't better now afebo. So that's what I have to say about this. So this concludes this episode of Judge of Ghana. As I always say, go to kofi.com.coachright, download the freebies there. You will learn a lot about leadership. There's a devotional, 365-day devotional on leadership, and then about corruption in the 54 countries in Africa. There's a free book there as well, so it'll be a good download to read. Thank you for listening to this episode, and as I always say to you, Ghana first, always. See you in the next episode. Bye for now. Father God, you're the